Alright, hello people. Mark here again, Camp Lapidary, and we're going to open up this box and see what's inside it. Of course, you probably already know by the title of the video what's going to be in here, but we can act like you haven't looked at that yet. My receipt, which you don't need to see. So look at that. You guessed it. New wheels. Lieutenant Dan, you got new wheels. These are Kingsley North. They're XTR res wheels. 280, 600, 1200, and this should be 3000. 3000. So let's see what they look like. That one is split open. In a bag. Okay. So that was the 280, I guess. No, that was the 1200. How did they get mixed up? 280. So this 280 was split, and it's not in a bag. Boy, it looks like there's a lot more I was looking at it in the sun, and there's a lot more texture on this side than there is on this side. Consistently all the way around. Yeah, I don't know about that. Alright, so that's a 1200. Here is a 600. In a bag. These are very kind of smelly, and they're very stiff compared to previous wheels that I have unboxed. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. It's a kind of a nice day for November, about 50 degrees out here. So, you know, when I look at their wheels, every single one of them has less grit on this edge. Less grit on that edge. Except for right there, it's got a whole lot of grit. $1,200, 600, 280. Let's see what the 3000 looks like. These wheels measure just about 7 7/8, 7 3/4 to 7 7/8, depending on where you're measuring from, and 2 inches wide. Also just noticed that this one is missing the bushings. Not that I need bushings, but that's just more evidence that this has, you know, been opened and rejected by another customer, and then they sent it out to me. At least that's what I believe. What's funny is that all these other ones are printed. They're grit numbers, and this 280 does not have that. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mark. This is Camp Lapidary, and today we are in the Lapidary dungeon. What we're doing here today is we're going to break in these wheels, which I recently got from Kingsley North, and these are the XTR resin wheels. And you know, when I unboxed them, I initially said to myself, well, this one right here, the 280 grit, you know, it's poor distribution of the goo or the epoxy or whatever. Seems to be a little thin on that side and kind of thick on this side. Same with this one. It seems to be pretty thin on this side and thicker on this side. This one is the best of all of them. It seems to have a fairly uniform distribution. I like that wheel. And this brown one seems overly thick, if you were to ask me. Some of these areas are going to be really thick, and I wonder how that's going to wear over time. So I initially was going to poo-poo all over these wheels and basically send them back. And I still may do that. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to put them on my machine and spin this machine up and see how balanced or unbalanced they are. And if they're terribly unbalanced, perhaps it would be better to send them all back and be done with it. Now, I tried to purchase Diamond Pacific wheels, and I ordered them from a place. I don't know what happened. There it is right there. So this is a Diamond Pacific wheel, and it's fairly new. You know, I've used it a few times and kind of broken it in a little bit, but you can see the amount of goo difference. I mean, it did have more, but this is pretty much a brand new wheel. And so, you know, I think these Diamond Pacific wheels have had the best quality so far of all the wheels that I have bought. And so I tried trying out new things and new wheels, and I tried to buy Diamond Pacific wheels. This is the 280. I tried to get a 600 and a 1200 through a company that I've purchased before, and after waiting for 60 plus days, I asked for a refund, which they finally granted. Kind of ridiculous waiting that long for shipments and stuff, but I guess, you know, maybe it's they're waiting for something to come off a ship somewhere. I don't know. I thought Diamond Pacific was made in the USA, but maybe the wheels come from China before they assemble them. I don't know. All I know is I tried buying Diamond Pacific wheels. I couldn't get them, and I used to get these for $159 a piece from this one company, and then they went up to $169 a piece, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll pay that. If you try to get them somewhere else, they could be $189 or $200 a piece for a Diamond Pacific Nova wheel. Now, these were $105 a piece for these XTR wheels from Kingsley North. I think they're normally $125 a piece or something like that, but if you buy 4 of them, they drop it down to $105. So basically you're looking at $430 after shipping or something like that. So that's where I am. And so let me spend a minute, get them installed on here. We'll spin that machine up and see how it works. So one thought, I know I don't have a script, and I just have some things that I wanted to talk about. But, you know, provided these spin well enough and not, you know, thumping like a real terrible out of balance thing, I know from prior experience that these tall peaks of the epoxy, those are going to be gone really quickly. They disappear very quickly, and you're left with, you know, something that looks like that. And so the only reason I'm even considering that I should spin these wheels up and see how they go is because 2 days after you start using this wheel, the whole wheel is going to be in a condition like this areas. And it hardly matters how tall those peaks are, because they're just going to get worn away rather quickly. So I missed that thought earlier, and I just wanted to get it in there. Here is some chunks of fossil wood that I found on Walkabout years ago. Some beautiful pieces of, I don't know, yellow cat wood or something like that. Southern Utah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I wish I could find some more of that. But I've got some other pieces from the same little find, and I thought we would use these to break in these wheels. That's the plan. All right, in the past, I had lost this wrench. It turns out it was in my trailer, in the toolbox in my trailer. But this is the wrench that came with the Cab King machine that previously had been missing in action. So here's the 280 wheel. And it's I can tell you that it's not as wide. So on the Diamond Pacific wheel, which is what I just took off, this is 50 millimeters, or about 2 inches, the hub width. And then on this one, it's going to be 42 millimeters, about 1.7 inches or so. .3000 grit. You can see how smooth they are. I mean, I've made a lot of cabs, and these are not done. I mean, they're not used up completely. They still work. They still work perfectly fine for soft materials. They work excellent for turquoise and such. 1200 grit. Very, very small. This one is probably the most worn, and has been for some time. It's been taking me extra long to work the back sides of the flat cabochons with this 1200. And Really, this was the driving factor of getting new wheels, was because this 1200 is so used. But again, works perfectly fine for turquoise, stuff like that. This is the 600 wheel, and it's actually still pretty good. Several years I've been using this one. All right, which one is 600? Here's 600. Oh, those bushings, these little red bushings on the inside are really stiff to get out. All right, 600 wheel. Probably should be greasing these. That's not going on. Do I have the grease down here? I don't even know where the grease is. Probably up in the shed. All right, let me find the grease. Back with the grease. Now I don't see any directional arrows on these, and I think generally the soft wheels aren't supposed to matter. Pretty stiff going on there.
That's not going on easy.
Can you imagine how difficult this is going to be to get off? This is ridiculous. I think I should force that off and sand the inside, because I'm concerned about ever getting it off again without destroying that wheel. Here is the 1200 grit wheel. Pretty much the same deal. Not going on very easily at all. Like that's not a good thing, putting it on that tight. So I've used Cab King wheels. I've gone through 2 sets of soft wheels that came with this machine. None of the Cab King wheels were that tight. The Diamond Pacific Nova wheels that I've gone through, never this tight. And all the various hard wheels that I've tried over the years. I mean, some of them when they're brand new are kind of difficult, but I don't think any of them have been this tight going on these shafts. I mean, that just doesn't go on. You know, I probably put 100 pounds or something onto pressure, and it's not gonna budge. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some sandpaper. So I got a little piece of tube, some sandpaper to wrap around the tube, and then I'll just ream that hole out. All right, I quickly sanded them just a little bit. Hopefully it's enough. Let's find out. A little grease in there. I guess it's not too big a deal to have to kind of run some sandpaper around the inside. I just wrapped it around a piece of PVC pipe. But, you know, I think you shouldn't have to do stuff like that with things that are new. All right, moment of truth. Will they be balanced? Let's find out. I can sense a little bit of more vibration than normal, but anytime you change out a wheel, it's going to be somewhat unbalanced. Dust and you know, the mud slings around on there, and it creates a balance eventually. So anytime you change something, it's going to be a little bit different. It's always different. And now as I look at this, I don't want to touch that with my fingers because it's sharp, and it'll probably grind you right down real fast. They don't look, they're not the best. I can see some variation, but it's probably not the worst. So I'm not sure. Might as well try them out, I guess. It's not making the machine jump around. So I'm going to start with this piece, and we're going to start with the 100 grit Kingsley North Texture X wheel. All right, so it hopefully is our last bit of sealer, but if it's not, then that's okay too. All right, here is kind of the moment of truth. We're going to be working on this brand new Kingsley North 280 grit XTR wheel. And pretty rough. Let's take a look at this. Well, certainly looks like it's working. All right, let's show you. Certainly looks like it's working. All right, let's move along, I guess. Well, might as well keep on moving with it and see where it takes us. 2 wheels left to go. So this is after the 1200 grit wheel. Looking pretty good and pretty quick. Not too bad. Alright, keep going, I guess. Just the 1 wheel left. And a polishing, I guess. So this is after the 3000 grit. Not too bad, really, on a shine. I mean, they really do need to be worked in a little bit better, and the polish will become better as they get worked in. But this is how I like to break in wheels. You know, I've read many internet posts, Facebook posts, rock tumbling hobby, or whatever that rock tumbling forum is. Just anywhere that people talked about breaking in wheels. You know, I read everything I could when I was getting into this. And 99% of people will tell you, take a big old hunk of agate and just lay into it, you know. Try not to scalp it. So those, you know, the epoxy is poking up with little hairs and stuff. If you take a knife on there, you can cut them all off. You don't want to scalp it. I want to use as much of that epoxy as possible. And so I will do this. Instead of just taking some random agate or random hard piece of material and wearing it in and wearing it out, I prefer to do this. This is something that I will have forever. And so I'll use the break-in period to do bigger pieces and not just a cabochon. You don't want your fingers down there when they're brand new. So polish something nice with your brand new wheels, and make good use of it. There's no reason to waste that. I'm going to show you inside the tray here in a minute all of the kind of extra that has come off of those wheels. But I'm going to polish it. Oh shoot, I got to turn off. I forgot to put the polishing back on the other far side, so we'll shut down the machine and get that polishing wheel on there, and I'll be right back. All right, it's done. Not the greatest polish, but like I said, it needs to be worked in, and it'll get better. Definitely some scratches that came from the 280 or the 600. Down in this area. This is the other piece that I did on the Diamond Pacific wheels. So I hope that it'll do as nice as these. And you know, I've gotten great finishes off of Cap King wheels. I've gotten great finishes off of Diamond Pacific wheels, and I'm sure that these wheels will eventually wear in and make a polish as good as this. At least I hope so. Time will tell. In a month I'll know for sure. You know, within a week I should know, but a month is, you know, I don't make that many cabs, so. All right, so you can see the pink debris down in the bottom. Those are all the kind of the tops of your epoxy that get knocked off. Even if you're careful, there's yellow color, and I don't really see a lot of the brown, though there is, I'm sure, some in there. Get these to stop, and so we'll, this is a comparison. This is basically, you know, one job in. Ten jobs in, and this stuff will be worn down to, you know, about what that is. Why does that look like a gap that goes all the way to the, you know, the threads of the belt? Keep an eye on that. So this one is going to last a long time. There's so much epoxy on that one. This one's going to wear out the fastest. I can tell because it's soft comparatively. Like the mixture of this material is much softer than this or this. This one is going to wear out the fastest. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much. I hope you have a pleasant afternoon or evening or day or night or whatever it is. Thanks for watching.